Are you evaluating Qualys TotalCloud for cloud security and wondering whether it uses AI, how it compares to alternatives, and whether the value justifies the spend? In this review, I will explain what TotalCloud is, how it works in AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud, where the AI fits in, and what kinds of teams get the most out of it. Qualys TotalCloud is a cloud-native application protection platform, often shortened to CNAPP. The idea behind a CNAPP is consolidation. Instead of buying separate tools for cloud posture management, workload and container protection, entitlements analysis, and runtime threat detection, you deploy one platform that sees the entire lifecycle, from infrastructure as code through production. Qualys builds TotalCloud on the Enterprise TruRisk Platform, the same backend that powers Qualys vulnerability management. That long history gives it a large, continuously updated corpus of vulnerability intelligence. Let's break down the core pillars. First, CSPM, or Cloud Security Posture Management, connects to AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Platform using read-only APIs. It inventories resources, applies thousands of best practice checks mapped to CIS benchmarks, NIST controls, PCI DSS, ISO 27001, and other frameworks, and flags misconfigurations such as open S3 buckets, permissive security groups, or weak IAM roles. CSPM is what delivers quick visibility into multi-account, multi-subscription environments. Second, CWPP, or Cloud Workload Protection, goes deeper into hosts, containers, and Kubernetes. Here you can choose agentless discovery for fast coverage and combine it with Qualys Cloud Agents on hosts or nodes for deeper vulnerability and configuration telemetry. Container image scanning helps catch known CVEs and misconfigurations before workloads are deployed. In Kubernetes, it analyzes cluster settings, RBAC, and workload security contexts, and can check images and registries before they reach production. Third, CIEM, or Cloud Infrastructure Entitlements Management, audits identities and permissions. In real environments, over-permissioning is common. CIEM highlights excessive privileges, unused roles, and risky trust relationships across IAM, service accounts, and federated identities, then suggests right-sizing policies to reduce blast radius. Fourth, shift left and IAC scanning. TotalCloud analyzes Terraform, CloudFormation, and Kubernetes manifests during code review or CI pipelines. This prevents misconfigurations from ever reaching a cloud account. It can comment on pull requests and block non-compliant templates, which helps standardize security guardrails across teams. Integrations typically include GitHub, GitLab, and Jenkins. A critical differentiator is how findings are prioritized. Qualys uses its TruRisk methodology to correlate vulnerabilities, misconfigurations, entitlements, and exposure. Practical machine learning helps identify meaningful attack paths and reduce noise. For example, a vulnerable container image behind a private load balancer might be ranked lower risk than a similar image exposed to the internet with an admin role attached. The AI is not a black box. It is primarily assistive, scoring and correlating signals to guide humans to material risk faster. Runtime detection and response adds continuous monitoring. When enabled, TotalCloud looks for suspicious behavior such as anomalous process activity on hosts or unusual API calls at the control plane. Detections are enriched with context about the affected asset, its internet exposure, effective permissions, and any exploitable vulnerabilities. This context shortens investigation time because it explains why an alert matters and how an attacker might pivot. Onboarding typically starts with connecting your cloud accounts via read-only roles, selecting regions, and tagging resources. Expect quick time to value from agentless CSPM, with deeper insights arriving as agents are rolled out to key workloads or as container image scanning is enabled in registries like Amazon ECR, Azure Container Registry, or Google Artifact Registry. For Kubernetes, you can connect managed services such as EKS, AKS, and GKE, and validate cluster posture against best practices. Remediation options range from guided steps linked to specific checks to automated workflows. Teams often integrate with ticketing systems such as ServiceNow and Jira, ensuring each misconfiguration or vulnerability becomes an assigned task with an SLA. For IAC, the recommended path is to remediate in code by updating Terraform modules or Helm charts, so fixes scale rather than getting reintroduced later. Compliance and reporting is a strong suit given Qualys's lineage. Dashboards map findings to frameworks like CIS, NIST, PCI DSS, and ISO 27001, and provide evidence you can export for auditors. You can slice by account, subscription, or project, filter by tags like environment or owner, and drill into control failures across services such as EC2, S3, IAM, Azure Storage, Key Vault, GCP IAM, and Kubernetes resources. Integrations matter for operations. TotalCloud can push alerts to SIEM platforms like Splunk and other event pipelines, while ticketing keeps remediation flowing. In CI/CD, pre-commit or pipeline gates prevent risky configurations from merging. That alignment between development and security is where many organizations see the biggest payoff, because it reduces late-stage rework and production risk. How does it compare to alternatives? Wiz and Orca Security are well known for agentless breadth and fast onboarding with a refined UX. Palo Alto Networks Prisma Cloud delivers full-stack capability with tight network and runtime features. Microsoft Defender for Cloud integrates deeply across Azure and Microsoft 365 licensing. Lacework focuses on behavioral analytics and anomaly detection. Qualys TotalCloud differentiates with its vulnerability research depth, unified risk scoring with TruRisk, and the option to combine agentless and agent-based coverage under one data model. Strengths include comprehensive coverage across the cloud stack, mature vulnerability intelligence, and practical AI-assisted risk prioritization. The hybrid of agentless and agent-based telemetry helps you balance speed and depth. Potential challenges include initial hygiene and taxonomy. To avoid dashboard sprawl, invest early in consistent tagging, account structure, and ownership mapping. Also, consider change management for development teams as you enforce IAC and pipeline controls. Licensing is typically consumption-based, reflecting assets, accounts, workloads, and features enabled. Expect tiered packaging for CSPM, CWPP, CIEM, and runtime. To estimate total cost, model a representative scope, run a proof of value, and track the ratio of high-priority findings to total alerts, average time to remediation, and how many issues are prevented in CI rather than discovered after deployment. Who gets the most value? Organizations that want a single risk language from code to cloud, and that already use or value Qualys vulnerability data often find TotalCloud appealing. SecOps leaders can align with Cloud Center of Excellence teams to embed guardrails, while platform engineers automate fixes in Terraform modules or GitOps workflows. If your goal is a consolidated view spanning hybrid infrastructure, the shared TruRisk backbone is a meaningful advantage. Final thoughts. Qualys TotalCloud is a robust CNAPP that consolidates posture, vulnerability, entitlements, and runtime signals, then uses AI-assisted correlation to put real risk at the top of the queue. It is not a magic button, but with solid onboarding hygiene and CI/CD integration, it can reduce attack surface and speed remediation across AWS, Azure, GCP, and Kubernetes. Run a time-boxed pilot, validate data quality and noise reduction against your environment, and compare it head-to-head with the shortlist of CNAPP leaders to see which best fits your team's workflows and skill sets.